he's a good dog. Yeah, he's a nice boy. Hey, I like you letting that go. This is a 6-month-old Cane Corso. He bit the guy. He's also bit their daughter. He's also had a lot of early life trauma. This video is going to be about, that would have been a nip right there. This video is going to be about how to adjust your training based on your dog's right there. That would have been the nip. How to adjust your training based on your dog's unique early life trauma. And there are many ways for a dog to have early life trauma. There would have been another nip right there. Looks like he might have just muzzle punched me. I was looking at him right in the eye. That would have been a bite. A nip, I should say. So you're going to hear it from their mouths. This dog was the runt. This dog had almost no hair. This dog had a hernia. This dog was taken away from his mom when he was too early. He was in a garage instead of a house. That garages get hot and cold. Not a lot of trauma, but a fair amount of trauma. So now I'm doing the handshake method. The handshake method does two things. It will sometimes make the dog better. But what the other thing that it'll do is that it will allow us to give corrections later on. That was big. That would have been a big hit right there. If we say the owner is like, hey, I accepted this person into my life, and the dog keeps doing the thing, we can then correct the dog. We can't do that if we think that the dog is being noble and trying to protect us, nor we shouldn't do that. But if we know the dog is not being noble and the dog is just being jerky to people you've accepted into your life, you can absolutely, quote unquote, punish the behavior. Now, I didn't tell them to do anything. I'm still assessing this dog. I want to feel how hard this dog hits that gate. I want to feel how hard this dog, how bad of a bite this would have been. Now, he's 6 months old. So I'm thinking about when he's a year and a half old and how bad that is. Also, sometimes these dogs grow out of it. So do you not do anything about this? Oh no, Joel, you definitely do something. Okay, you do something. How hard do you go? Considering his trauma is his life. Do we go super hard on him? We don't do that either. Okay, do we do all positive? Okay, do we do all corrections? There's high stakes for the choices that are made right now with your dog at this age or with this dog at this age. There are high stakes on what you do, and this video hopefully will walk you through what to let go and what not let go. And if you want to become a professional dog trainer and learn the intricacies of what you're going to see in this video, I've already given them, it's been 2 months, they have 70 videos, and they're going to get a lot more. If you want to become a professional dog trainer, learn about helper dog, learn about social media, learn about all my methods, email beckmanventures@gmail.com. Tell me why you want to be a part of the program. In a minute, we're going to go to original audio, and you're going to hear about the trauma in this dog's life.
He was the runt,
Yeah.
And the guy down the street had like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Sold all of them. No one wanted him because he had that hernia.
Yeah.
And he didn't have all his hair.
Yeah, I know.
So he was kind of like the runt, like.
So how do you know he's the runt? Because they told you, or because you?
Yeah.
Did you?
And he was like
half the size of the
Yeah.
sister we saw.
Okay. Did you go to the house where he's raised?
Yeah.
Do you know where his pen was? In the house, in the
I think
back.
it was in the garage. It looked like
But
it was.
it seemed like he wasn't well taken care of.
Get bite to the daughter, bite to you. Any more people bites?
He's just started to be more aggressive, I would say.
Yeah.
He was like separated from mom early. I don't think he had mom with him for a while at that point.
Oh.
Because he was covered in feces. Like you'd think the mom would have been cleaning him up a little. So.
Yeah.
And they were like moving at the same time
I
they had
don't
a
know.
litter, so it was
We
like.
kind of felt bad for him and wanted to get him checked out by a vet. That's why we.
I think you did get. Yeah, and you
Well,
did
we
get him.
did.
Yeah.
And then he
And they said-
basically was like, keep him for free because of it.
The people.
The breeder.
Yeah.
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 The gentleman.
And the vet even went so far as to say, don't breed him.
Yeah, don't
like
breed
she
him.
saw a big enough problem. You're going to see him meet dogs and meet people, and you're going to see me let a lot of stuff go. Now, why am I going to let a lot of stuff go? Because he's been through a lot in his life. Okay, he doesn't need discipline as much as some dogs need discipline. I get dogs out to me all the time that are aggressive or jump and hit people and do whatever they want because no one has ever told them that they can't. This dog has actually had a difficult life. Are there more difficult lives out there that dogs have had? Yes, there are. But he's up there, right? Pain early on, no mother around early on, temperatures going up and down in a garage. It's not near a perfect situation. Okay, so he doesn't need what many people think he needs. He needs some love and some softness in his life, and they give him that, but they need to be directed a little bit on when to be hardcore. And look at, he's not acting. Look at that look from him to me. He is not going at Prince like a lot of the dogs you see go at Prince. He will go at Prince, and then he looked at me. 9 dogs out of 10 don't do that when they go at that fence. They say, I don't even care where this guy is. I'm going at that dog. He actually has split focus. He's going to go another dog, and I'm not going to do. There's another look at me. Okay? He's like, he's not just going 100%. Now, that look could have been because, there's another one, could have been because he got a correction from me early on or whatever, or it could just be because he actually isn't that serious about the dog aggression. How many dogs have you seen just go at that fence and not give a rat's you-know-what about where the person is on the other end of the leash? You've seen a lot of them. And he's had enough, not corrections in his life, because these people have done a darn good job. You'll actually hear me say to these people how good of trainers they are. He's just been through a lot, okay? There's a time and a place for softness. He's also an adolescent, right? He's going through a lot, and it will get better, but they have another challenge when he hits 9 months old. Okay, he's going to get a little more full of himself. And then, so it's basically right now, between 1 year is the time that we are going to see if we can't significantly help this dog. But these guys, you've got to know when to say knock it off and when to say, okay, you're going through something, you've been through something, and we're going to let this go. Now, do we let a bite to a child go? We never do. There is going to be a management aspect to this when there are bites to children, obviously, a giant management aspect. The dog can never be close enough to bite another child, but there does need to be training around the child. You're going to hear me talk about the children giving chicken, right, treats from the scary stimulus, and then he's going to also be in a muzzle, and he is going to get some corrections when he goes at the kid. But all the corrections today, and you're going to hear me talk to these guys, all the corrections are going to be short and sweet. They're going to be a little correction, and then we're not going to hold a grudge. Then if he does something again, we're not going to hold a grudge. We're also going to go way up in the exercise, okay? They're supposed to go on 1 2-mile walks every day, 7 days a week. So that's going to bring the energy down in him so that he's just less intense all the time. Now, you're going to see him get kind of tired throughout this session. I don't care. He's got enough energy to launch himself at fences at me and launch himself at fences at dogs. Then when you see me like walk away with him and he goes, no, I don't feel like walking. I don't feel like moving. I go, I don't really care. We're walking here, buddy. But we do have to let this dog get some emotion out at times. So now I'm training the guy, and he does a really good job. Like, he gives corrections and doesn't give corrections at the right time. There were sometimes I was like, don't give it there, do give it there. But he's actually kind of a natural at this. Now you're gonna hear original audio. There is hope. Yeah.
His listens
There is.
good and trains well, but he just kind of scares me, honestly.
I know, and we need to deal with that. And we can never have a kid bite, but there is hope. Like, there's dogs who show up here that are like, they've had so much trauma and mental illness. Here, stay in there, Veronica. You're just gonna hang. No, stay in there. I'll take him. Let's go. Okay, Veronica, just hang, guys. Veronica, come out. We're gonna recreate that whole thing. Stay. Right here, actually. Stay. You're a good boy. It's our friend. You're a good boy. Leave it. It's our friend. She's a nice lady. Stay. Come right here, please. Stay. It's good to see you again.
See you.
This is my dog. He's a nice dog. Stay. Yes. And bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. Good boy. Shorten that leash. Tell him stay.
Stay.
Talk to your friend.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you.
So you're going to see an almost lunge right there, and then he doesn't. Watch it again. Ready? Right there. but he doesn't. That is good. I actually said correct, and then I'm glad the guy didn't correct. You could give a correction on thinking about lunging at a human being, but for this particular dog, I would not give a correction for thinking. He wasn't really even just thinking about it. He moved forward. He was a millisecond away from doing it. Some dogs, I would have said yes, correct, or I would have wished that he would have given correction. This dog, we are going to have some grace for him. We're going to, if he's better than he usually is, we're not going to correct it. You can correct wrong thinking. You actually can. There's a little move right there too. Just that little move forward. He's not perfect, but remember when he showed up, what he was doing to me. He's 100 times better than he was when he showed up already. All right. The previous clip, you heard me say, and then here's where we have a little fight. Okay. They just can't get their leg over that leash. And then I don't hold a grudge. Okay, come on. We're moving. You're fine. You're a big boy. It's no problem. And I'm talking to him. You're a good boy. You're a good boy. Don't worry about it. Right? Tone. The previous clip, you heard me go, hey, that's our friend. Talking about Veronica. Don't worry about it. You got to be natural. You just got to act natural. Okay? You got to try to keep your heart rate down. You've got to try to talk naturally. You've got to try to stand naturally. And he says, yeah, I want to go where I want to go. I want to go be by them. I want to go whatever. This is the tough love part. Okay? But this is different than a lot of other things. I'm happy. I'm being somewhat fair, but I'm not letting him just go, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Yes, he's had trauma in his life. Yes, I feel bad for him, of which you're going to hear in a minute. That doesn't mean he gets to do whatever he wants. He's also biting children. But you've got to find that happy medium. I believe I found it. He's the best boy. I feel bad for him in a way. And I think if he comes...
We took him in.
I don't think he's like a total a-hole. I said he was being an a-hole because he was. But like, I don't think he just is a total a-hole. I just, when I took the leash and I started doing stuff with him, he just like fell in line. It's a good question why I feel bad for him.
Really good.
I just think he's going through a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys literally were like, he was in his own feces. That's really bad. Mm-hmm. It's like really.
Yeah, he had no hair.
He had no hair. He's too thin.
Yeah,
he was the runt.
I don't know if that's trauma, like just ripping.
Pain is trauma.
At a young age.
Being cold and hot.
Garages already had that growl at 7 weeks, and the vet's like, "You're not breeding this dog." I'm like,
yeah, it's a weird thing for a vet to say, honestly. He's also did not come from a great breeding situation. His lines are fine. That's different. Right. And then he had some trauma early on, so you've got to like pick and choose your battles, because those things are going to work when their brain is right. If their brain like isn't right and they're going through stuff and whatnot, I mean, you can get a bite when you shouldn't have gotten a bite. You can get him trying to bite you when it doesn't even make any sense. Lunge at me again. I don't care. Pop, and then you're going to let it freaking go. Okay? This is not, because then the longer it goes on in his adolescent brain, like the more things get confusing. You know? You're just popping and let him know. Tell him sit.
Sit. Sit.
Push his butt. We're over it.
Sit.
Tell him, no, you can sit down again. Yeah, you're good. It's good to see you again. Hey, man. Yeah, it's good to see you again. Oh, get ready. It's good to see you again. Hi. Hi. That's a nice dog. Oh, he's a good dog. Yeah, he's a nice boy. Hey, I like you letting that go. I'm not saying it's great, but we gotta let him know lunges are the thing we're gonna correct. Maybe we let growls go now, then the lunges go down, and then maybe we eventually don't let the growls go. But for the same reason we let him get some feelings out with the dogs, it's lunges that we don't want. So good job. I'm surprised you didn't correct on the growl. Maybe you're like, Joel doesn't want me to correct.
I was thinking physical, like if he lunged at you.
Great. That's right. You're a pretty good dog trainer, actually. Yeah. You really are. Most people aren't really capable of this stuff. You are capable of it, of a lot of this. Okay? Yeah. It's going to be tough. we could say proof's in the pudding. He did that thing at me. I told you to do your thing. Then he let me do a lot of stuff. Proof's in the pudding. That situation worked. And what was that? It was a correct. It was then a sit. And we let it all go. We didn't back him up. It was a tough deal. It's so good to see you again. Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah. But that is a nice dog. He's a good boy. Yeah. I got to go. Bye. See ya. Sometimes the turn away does a thing. But we'll take this for now. We'll kind of take this all day. But you're always ready. You look relaxed, which is good. But you should be ready with that left hand. Or right hand, sorry. Yeah. And we'll take this. He's adolescent. He's had some tough times. So we're going to go slow and steady. But yeah, you're the man. Then he's perfect with you. Then it can transfer to her. She's going to help out with the walks. That's a big deal. High value treats from the kids. These things are wonderful little things that give me hot dogs and chicken. Not little Zook treats, but something significant. I would not be taking him to over-stimulating situations. It's a lot of walks. It's a lot of home. He's number 2 to you, and you have everything freaking under control, and there's no threats to him or to you. And he just has to know that. That's probably number 1, and you're strong enough, which strength matters, and now you know what to do. You know it's short and sweet. We don't hold grudges. We let him know that's inappropriate. I drew a line in the sand today with this dog. I said lunges at people will get you corrections, except for when he first showed up and I wanted to assess him, so I let him lunge. After that, we said you cannot lunge at people. But what didn't we give him corrections for? We didn't give him corrections for growling. We didn't give him corrections for lunging at dogs because he was doing some real subtle check-ins with me, so it just wasn't that bad. But with kids, with people, you have to draw a line in the sand. Give a correction, but don't keep going with the correction, and don't have any anger. And immediately after the dog looks at you, relax your body and just say, it's okay, buddy. You're fine right now, but be clear. Give a little correction, then let it go instantly. That is because if there is trauma in the dog's life, you cannot do anything over the top. Most of the dogs you see me work with, they come out, they've never been told no. So I have to overdo it with saying, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off, knock it off, because no one's ever told you that. With this dog, he's actually gone through a lot in life, so if we go over the top with him, it could trigger his brain to just go somewhere else, and that's what we try to avoid. And you have to walk a very clear line when you're dealing with a dog that has bit children, okay? But doesn't mean you have to be super nice and positive all the time. Doesn't mean it has to take a year either. If you find that line, you can actually fix dogs like this relatively quickly if you do it right and you know what you're doing. 9 is really